Star Wars 7x7, episode 2857. We've been revisiting conversations we had on the podcast about Star Wars Celebrations past, and in particular hosting Star Wars Celebration stages. Today, the final episode of that revisitation, if you will, which is the second half of my conversation with Amy Ratcliffe about Celebration Orlando. Punch it. Hey Rebel Rouser, I'm Alan Voivod and this is Star Wars 7x7, your daily dose of Star Wars joy, and thank you so much for joining me for it. So here we are with the last of our flashback episodes, looking at conversations that I had with Amy Ratcliffe and David W. Collins about hosting Star Wars Celebration stages. This time we are finishing up the conversation with Amy Ratcliffe about Celebration Orlando, so why don't we just dive right in. Here is that second half of the conversation about Celebration Orlando and hosting the behind-the-scenes stage.
Do you find that sometimes if you feel like you've overplanned it, just to use your word in this case, that it can create a situation where, for your comfort's sake, not necessarily yours, but anybody's, but that you feel like sticking to the script and the plan that you've created makes you more comfortable, but then when you're actually in the situation and things are unfolding organically, that it can almost make you feel a little more forced and therefore make it not as comfortable even for the audience as a result?
Agreed. I think it can make it feel more like boxed in and not as interesting, because I think, that just letting conversation come, like you said, in an organic way is more, you can tell when that's happening, first of all.
Right.
And it just makes it, as a moderator, and I think if I were a fan in the audience, that's more interesting to me.
So hosting is not something you've done on a regular basis prior to Celebration?
Nope. I've hosted panels at conventions. I've moderated panels and hosted, a fair number of them, over a dozen. So I guess I kind of have, just not to the degree where it's Celebration is like, this is like you host this whole stage instead of just popping in for an hour and talking to these people, or popping, like back and forth. So
walking into one room and going up onto a couple of risers and sitting at a table with everyone, and then leaving and going to some other room, and
exactly, and just kind of spreading that out. Like, so I do one or two a convention instead of most of them, in one room for the length of a convention. So I guess I'd hosted before, but this was the first hosting gig at this level.
Yeah, this is the big show. I don't think anything really gets bigger as far as Star Wars goes, does it?
I don't think so.
It's
kind of wild. It's just,
yeah, maybe
it's surreal a lot of times. I'm like, how did this happen?
Maybe if you were hosting, the red carpet premiere of one of the movies coming out, like maybe that approaches it. But
yeah.
Even then, it's still like, that's one night. Like, that's a sprint compared to Celebration. The Celebration's a marathon.
Yes, it is. I'm like, oh man, that's not that far away. Really.
No, it is not. It's, what is today? The 16th. So yeah, a month from now it'll be over. I'm
looking forward to Celebration. I'm also super looking forward to sleeping in the day after. Yes. I already know.
So, is there anything that you're excited about Celebration-wise, just in general, that, whether it has anything to do with your stage or not? I think even though it hasn't been announced, it's pretty darn fair to say that we're going to see footage from The Last Jedi. It's probably very fair to say that we're going to see footage from Season 4 of Rebels, that sort of thing. Is there anything that you're particularly excited about seeing, even though you're probably not going to see it until a few hours after everybody else?
Yeah, that's true. That's why I'm going to pick, if there is Episode 8 stuff, I'm going to pick that over Rebels, only because if it follows in the footsteps of the last couple of celebrations, the big panels, like if there is a Last Jedi one, will be, or there is one, right? Did they announce that?
Yes, it's on Friday.
Yeah, on Friday,
they're doing
right?
The big 40th anniversary stuff is happening Thursday, and they're doing the Last Jedi panel on Friday.
I should know that. Jeez.
Oh, no, it's okay. You know what? What I think that is, quite honestly, is that's you being careful. Because I'm sure you've probably been exposed to all of this, but as to Whether it's actually been revealed publicly or not is another thing entirely. So I chalk that up to you being careful.
Thank you. But hopefully the Last Jedi one will be streamed into my room, into the behind the scenes stage, like the Rogue One was in Europe, and the Future Filmmakers one was. So I hope that will happen, and then I would actually get to see it when it happens as well, and not hours later on the internet when I'm back in my hotel room trying to I'm like, what did I miss today?
Yeah.
So I'm excited about Rebels too, but a little more for the Last Jedi, because hopefully I'll get to see that one.
And I'm pretty sure they did the same thing in Celebration Anaheim, where they streamed the Force Awakens panel off to the other stages. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did that. So
hopefully that'll happen.
Yeah, and that would be a very good thing. And then I feel like they did the same thing with the Rebels panel, but not the episodes. I mean, they showed Season 3's first 2 episodes in the room, but I don't think they streamed those anywhere in London. And I think they showed Season 2's first 2 episodes in Anaheim, but that was they did that differently. That was like a red carpet premiere event, and they only did it in the room itself and didn't stream it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and they didn't stream the Rebels panel to my room last year.
Oh, okay. Got it. All right.
Which was a bummer, but that's okay.
Mm-hmm. Probably not the same level of demand as The Last Jedi, unfortunately.
It should.
Mm-hmm. It really does. Oh, okay. Well, we could get on a whole other conversation about Rebels. So, and I know I only have you for a few more minutes. So there's one other question I do want to ask you that's Celebration related. I've been checking out a lot of discussion groups, and there are a lot of folks posting about how excited they are that Orlando's going to be the first time that they get to go to a celebration. So as somebody who's been to a number of celebrations, and not just as a host, but also as a guest and presumably as a member of the media as well, if you had advice for people going to Celebration for the first time, what would it be?
First of all, I'm so excited for anybody going to Celebration for the first time, because I'm clearly biased, but there's no convention like it. It's just a delight, and that's also a favorite word today, to be surrounded by thousands of people who understand the very thing that you're just as excited about. It's wonderful. 3 pieces of advice. It's Florida. It's hot. Drink a lot of water. Even if you're only going outside and passing, bring a water bottle, like a refillable one if you want to. If you don't, because convention center water will be expensive. Or my trick is always I buy a bottle of water at the airport after I get through security. And I try to keep that bottle, like when I go, and like not on long vacations, obviously, but for a few days, then I know I have a bottle I can refill.
Mm-hmm.
So drink water. Don't try to see it all, because you can't. So kind of cherry pick the things that mean the most to you, and plan your convention around those things, whether it's panels or buying merchandise. You have to decide, you're going to wait in line. So you have to prioritize maybe like 3 things you really want to do, and then build the rest of your convention experience around that.
I like that.
And number 3 is, bring your patience pants, as I like to say, because you're going to wait in. You're going to wait in line. I am not good at waiting in line. So, and it is fun to meet other people in line. But if you're an introvert and you don't want to do that, that's fine too. No pressure. Like, there's no pressure to talk to strangers. I will say, like, talking to other people at Celebration, you automatically have Star Wars in common. But if that's not your thing, bring extra batteries so you can play your favorite games on your phone or your 3DS, or bring your Kindle. But just, you're going to wait in line at some point. So don't be a Debbie Downer about it, and don't complain like it's going to happen. Just embrace it and roll with it.
I think that's fantastic all straight throughout. And I think the second one about just trying not to do it all, I think that was, even for me, my biggest challenge at the first one I went to, which was Anaheim in 2015. Just seeing the schedule of everything, it was like,
like, how do you, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was overwhelming in the best way. And, momentarily it was overwhelming in a disappointing way because the reaction was, I can't see it all and I want to see it all. And ultimately, they did live stream a good chunk of both Anaheim and London and kept it online on the Star Wars YouTube channel. I can't imagine a world where they wouldn't do something like that again this year. So,
yeah, I hope they do, because that's how I got caught up on panels like that I couldn't see. I just kind of made a list, and then once I was back home, I just kind of had a day where I'm like, I'm going to catch up on all the Celebration I didn't get to see, and that kind of worked out.
Mm-hmm. That was presumably after the day you slept in?
Yes. I went on vacation in Europe after Celebration, so it was actually like 2 weeks later, but eventually.
Okay. You and I did it the opposite. We went on vacation before Celebration, and Celebration was the end of it for us.
That's right.
Yeah. So where did you go in Europe?
I went to Paris, and then back to London, and then to Edinburgh.
Nice.
Yeah, it was delightful.
Had you ever been?
Nope, that was my first time outside of London.
That's terrific. That's wonderful.
I can't wait to go back.
So here's hoping that they do Celebration in Europe again.
I know, I'm like, please do another international Celebration, and please ask me to come for entirely selfish reasons.
Well, I'll tell you, if you pull off the Celebration stage this year like you did last year, they will have absolutely no reason to turn you away for another one.
Oh, I hope so. Thank you. That's kind.
Absolutely. And so I am very much looking forward to seeing you at Celebration later this week. And in the meantime, while people are getting ready to go to Celebration, getting packed, getting their travel plans all finalized and so forth, I'm sure they're going to want to keep track of folks like you who are deeply connected to what's happening with Celebration. So please share with our listeners how they can stay in touch with you on social media.
Please follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Amy_Geek. I'll be posting a lot. I plan on doing a lot of Instagram stories as the convention unfolds, so we can, from my stage and from whatever I do. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, definitely follow me there so we can... Oh my gosh, there's going to be so much. I can't wait.
Oh, and I meant to ask you, is your Lattes with Leia co-host, Drea, and I'm sorry, I'll have to ask you to pronounce her last name.
Letamendi.
Is Drea going to be going to Celebration as well?
Alas, she is not.
That's too
I
bad.
know.
It seems like that would make for some great conversational fodder for you, if not during, then certainly after the fact, though. So hopefully we'll get to hear some of the download from Celebration on Lattes with Leia as well.
Yeah, absolutely, we will.
Well, Amy, thank you again so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it, and I wish you a fantastic and successful Star Wars Celebration.
Thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you there.
And in the meantime, take care and get a lot of rest, because you got a lot of work ahead of you.
I'm going to need it.
So there you go. That was my conversation with Amy Ratcliffe about hosting the behind-the-scenes stage at Celebration Orlando. She's going to be hosting a stage for the 4th celebration in a row now at Celebration Anaheim in 2022, which is going to be very cool. Looking forward to that. And I hope you have enjoyed this series of flashback episodes and these conversations about Celebration and what goes on behind the scenes. And that is going to do it for this episode of the show. It just remains for me to say thank you so much for joining me for it, as always. And may the Force be with you, wherever in the world you may be.
Star Wars 7x7 is not endorsed or sponsored yet by Lucasfilm Limited, Disney, or 20th Century Fox, and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Star Wars, the Star Wars logo, all names and pictures of Star Wars characters, vehicles, and any other Star Wars-related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Lucasfilm Limited, or their respective trademark and copyright holders. May the Force be with them. All original content is copyright 2021 by Star Wars 7x7. We hope you love it.